Sitting in the truck, enjoying the rain. Yes, I'm getting soft in my old age, and not out in the rainstorm here bringing you this video. But uh, today was pretty blessed, feeling pretty blessed to be out on the new property. Excited to be off and running on that, and hopefully have a successful fall coming down the pipe here on that piece. Back here on the home farm this afternoon after it started raining, pulled in and just wanted to take a minute to shoot this video. And like I said, yes, we are on the in the truck bringing this to you because it is raining. We've actually been very blessed timing wise on the project that we were on last week, and bringing that step by step to you, kind of showcasing what we don't get to in a lot of our properties, and that turned out perfect. We got the plots in, we got everything fertilized, limed, and seeded, and on a Saturday, and I believe it was Sunday, we got rain, and just over a week ago. And this here has been planted for a couple weeks now in a little bit different setting, a little bit different timeline than what we usually do. So, hence the reason I'm sitting here today. I wanted to chat with you guys. Is often get this question: is what? Ooh, we got some good lightning there. We often get the question of when is too late, and that makes me a little nervous. Good thing I'm sitting under the tree and in the truck here. Anyway, I'll always get the question of what's too late? Do I have time yet to recover? And this is a perfect example right here, guys. Is this plot last year was created. I prepped it, and if you've been following along on the anything labeled the home farm food plotters, I'm talking about the home farm food plot. This is a quarter acre, and what I did is I cleared it last year, and because of work schedule and timing, I just didn't get it planted. So we hunted the farm the way that we always do, as a bypass, like I've said before. This year I actually came in, and because of I wanted to get that rye and that buckwheat planted in mid-June, and because of some stuff we had going on here on the farm and critters here still on the farm, I wasn't able to. I wanted to put my barnyard cleanings on this and till it in, and to start that that way. I had the fertilizer to use in the form of manure, and instead of just pushing it off in the woods, I wanted to put it on this plot. So that backed me up until the middle of July, and so this was planted to rye and buckwheat, light rye, strong buckwheat, and was planted this in I'll have to look at the exact date, but I believe it was the middle of July, around the 15th. And planted this, and as you can see, the first go round I had the geese, which I felt kind of destroyed me a little bit there, so I actually came back in and interseeded it a little bit not too long after that. But as you can see, this is a month, 3 weeks now, I guess it is 3 weeks of growth, and it's growing well. Now, the reason that we plant the rye and the buckwheat is because we want that to be able to obviously roll down or crimp down on the in the buffalo system or the no-till system. We want to be able to to crimp that down on top of our brassica plantings that we do the first week of August. Well, because it was planted late, very low weeds, not a lot of weeds in it at all, and I elected to, is because of the open soil and the low weed count, and it was a new plot, started with a clean slate. What I elected to do is I elected to come in last week. I got the project that I was planning there seeded, hit right before the rain got home, and I said, you know what, it's about it's just it's probably I would gauge most of the buckwheat and the rye at about the 8-inch 10-inch range would be an average. There's some of it that's over a foot, but let's run with 10 inches as an average. And I put that I elected to put the brassicas. I put the brassicas right in it because of the open soil and the low weed count, and I'm glad I did, because I'm sitting here looking out the window right here, and I've got so that is just over a week, and I'm looking at all of the brassicas growing, which I planted turnip, no-till radish, or eco-till radish, and the Austrian winter peas. So this is a kind of a test this year to show us that it can be done late. You can use the rye and the buckwheat as it is meant to be used for a low weed, shaded out cover crop, if you will, and not always have to crimp it. So I elected to, like I said, I elected to come in here, and we did the rye and the buckwheat and the peas right into it, and I'm blown away. I pulled down here today, haven't had a chance to get in here in over a week, and before I shut this off, I will quit chickening out here with the lightning and the rain coming down. I'll jump out and I'll show you just all over in here. The brassicas are coming on strong, and that was, so I did not color pack that. I just broadcast the brassicas into the standing rye and buckwheat, which is short, and I didn't color pack it. And my theory is the brassica is immature, or the buckwheat is immature yet, and as the brassica is coming up underneath it, the buckwheat is going to continue to grow and continue to shade, keep the weed issue under control. But it's not to a point where it's going to shade out all the brassicas completely, because when I got it in there, like I said, the open soil, and they're actually, I see a lot of browse on the buckwheat. I see a lot of browse on the rye, which is great. And what that tells me is I feel that we're going to have a kind of a 2 or 3 stage plot here. We're going to have our brassicas, our rye, and our buckwheat, and that rye and that buckwheat is going to act as a browse. You know, they're going to pick on that, and we're going to see these brassicas just jumpstart. So this is obviously has the manure from the barns that we put on it, and also I only put 400 pounds per acre of the Morgan's Compost Dairy Dew, the 844, and I'm blown away by it. And this is so we'll run with this for a while. Obviously the brassicas are germinated now and standing up out of the ground. I'm not going to spray it with glyphosate. We're just going to let it run, and I think we're going to be pretty shocked on how this turns out. I might be wrong, but this is kind of, like I said, we're lucky enough to have this on the farm for a test plot. And so to recap with you, I planted the rye and the buckwheat early season, planted the rye and the buckwheat in mid-July. I did not hit the June mark that we need to get for the height, so I planted it in mid-July, and then I let that go. I did have to interseed it because the geese would not leave it alone. So I top dressed it, if you will, and put the rye and the buckwheat in, and that's about 3 or 4 weeks old now. Let's run with 4 weeks, and rain hit just right during those growth, the germination of the rye and the buckwheat. And then I came back in last week, the first week of August, and I broadcast the brassicas right in to the standing into the standing rye and the buckwheat. And I'm going to show you what we've got going on here. So in theory, the reason I'm doing this, guys, is because I've got a blend that I'm working on for next year, kind of a do-all blend, one of those fail-safe deals that I think a lot of guys can have success with a food plot on that low impact to your wallet. And so I'm playing with a couple things here, and this is one of the reasons that we're doing this. But so yeah, I'll jump out and show you here what we've got going on, and I think you'll be pretty impressed as well. So there's all kinds of all kinds of platforms here. Usually what we do, obviously, we plant the brassicas in, and I lay that down, crimp and or roll on top of the brassicas, and we go with that no-till system. Now, this is just another method. It's the no-till version, but we're not laying that down. We're not using the rye and the buckwheat as the cover. We're using it kind of now in conjunction with, if you will, with the brassicas. So we've got the short brassicas that are coming up. We got that rye and the buckwheat that's immature, that they're kind of growing together. And if it works, that will be one of my to tie that information into the final blend that we're going to come up with for next year. And my theory is it just gets confusing when you start adding rye and your buckwheat, and then your timing has to be this, and then you come back in and you put your brassicas. And I've always thought maybe if I could time it just right to experience it myself, maybe I could come up with a way in conjunction with the no-till drill system here, as far as the buffalo system, to do that kind of all at one to a guy that's running behind, like myself. And so that's why we did it this year, and I'm pretty impressed with what we've got. So I'll jump out and take a peek, guys, and I'll kind of keep you informed here on the house plot. And obviously, like I said, the house will be gone here shortly, and this is going to be in the hands of the next owner. So I'm trying to do everything I can do now to so they have a successful fall. And I mean, as it stands right now, this beats a lot of plots that are in the area, and you can see it's got a lot of growth left. You can see it out the front window there. I mean, it's coming along great. And I'm actually sitting in the spot. I'll take you out the window here. I'm actually sitting in the spot that's not doing as best as the rest of it is, further to the west here. So this is kind of what we've got. I'm going to jump out right now and show you some of the brassicas, and we'll keep you informed. Thanks, guys.